I tried to warn you, Bitcoin was always bound to go lower. In today's video, we'll be talking about the most recent Bitcoin price action, we'll be going over the war escalations, and what you should be paying attention to next in this market as the bear market continues. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. First things first, the shorts are absolutely printing. So I'm currently shorting Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you can see that I'm currently up around 270K on these trades. I've been holding them for quite some time. I still expect Bitcoin to continue breaking down lower, but I'll give you a look at the lower time frames right now. So you can see here that we are currently losing the value area low. When Bitcoin was up to these tariff capitulation lows, I added to my existing Bitcoin short position because the probabilities always favored a move lower. And right around this zone, everyone was calling for $80,000 plus on Bitcoin. Now, is that still possible? Actually, if we manage to hold on to this level, there is a chance that we can get a more significant move to the upside. However, it is clearly not my base case based on my positions in this market where I have continuously shorted Bitcoin and other crypto assets. I also shorted Bitcoin on 2bit here, which is one of the newer exchanges that I've been working with recently. I've been testing them out for well over a year now without sharing anything. And if this interests you and you can't use Bluffin, which is my go-to crypto exchange, you do have the second link in my description down below, which brings you directly to 2bit. It's a great exchange. You can trade stocks, oil, crypto, anything you really want, you can get it on there, and you can get up to $60,000 in tradable funds. But the more interesting thing, which some of you have been asking about, is how to get access to my community where I share all of my own personal trades in this market before I come on the YouTube channel. That is by signing up with one of the affiliate exchange links down below and joining by clicking this link up above. So if that sounds interesting, you know what to do, you know where to find me. Now, Bitcoin is essentially doing exactly what we discussed, and that is breaking down lower. We managed to get that scam pump to the upside, which we covered in yesterday's video, and then we ended up sweeping it, but not getting any acceptance above the level, which was always going to be a critical rejection point and a great shorting opportunity for people that never entered a short and wanted exposure to the downside. Please remember that nothing that I discuss on my channel should be construed as financial advice. I'm just a guy on the internet sharing all of his own personal trades and his overall market analysis. So, taking a look at Bitcoin here, if we are to bounce, it should be from around this zone. From where we are now down to 65K is a pivotal zone for the bulls to hold if we have any kind of chance of a significant bounce to the upside, because you can see that we managed to hold on to here as support, and this level has been tapped into several times, which allowed Bitcoin to bounce higher within this existing range. If we don't hold on here, and we lose $65,000, it is highly probable that we make it all the way down to sub $63,000, which is a several $1,000 move. And then we're going to start talking about going sub 60K, which I do think is inevitable this year. Now, some of you were frustrated when I said that, but guys, it's very clear. And to put it as simply as possible, you can see that this zone acted as resistance back in 2021, which is essentially where we made our all-time high. Then it acted as resistance before Bitcoin broke to the upside in this previous cycle. Then it acted as support on the tariff capitulation lows, and now it is indeed acting as resistance. So how much lower can Bitcoin realistically go over the course of this year? I actually think that we can make it down to this level at the bare minimum. So I'm targeting down to $49,000. That might sound absolutely crazy to some of you. Hopefully by now you know how the bear markets develop, but you can see here that from the high to where Bitcoin dropped at this wick low, it was about a 52% drop. In previous bear markets, we have dropped well over 75%. Now, I do think that we're going to be dropping less than the previous bear markets, but I still don't think that 52% was enough. So realistically, if Bitcoin does drop over the course of this year down to this low, which was the pivot that allowed us to make a new all-time high, that would be a 60% drop, which isn't that much. Realistically, I think that the bottom of the bear market will be found between, call it just under 40K up to around 50K. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I said that I would start slowly dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin from a spot portfolio perspective if we make it sub $60,000 once more. That is still my game plan, but when I say slowly, I really do mean it. So let's assume I have a 100% cash position ready to be allocated towards Bitcoin and Bitcoin only. Well, I would maybe allocate between 1 and 3% if we make it sub $60,000. Then if we make it sub $50,000 over the course of this year, I would probably allocate another 15 to 20%. And the lower we go, the more I would allocate. I cannot stress this enough because it is very, very difficult to catch the bear market bottom. I may think that the bear market bottom will be somewhere around this zone, but I still want exposure in case I am wrong because, as we know, history doesn't have to repeat perfectly, although it does seem like we are living in a simulation because this breakdown is a textbook breakdown, which we saw over here. I still think that it's important to manage your expectations. So I'm going to continue shorting Bitcoin. I'm going to continue making money on the way down, and I will continue to look for spot opportunities in this bear market as most people continue to tune out of crypto. No one gives a crap about crypto. So if you're watching my channel right now, just know that there are some opportunities ahead which will set you up for greatness in the next bull market cycle because yes, I do believe we will be back. Now, taking a look at the stock market, this is a very textbook breakdown. It looks absolutely horrible, and we've been discussing this potential breakdown for quite some time on the channel. Even when the stock market was up here, we were discussing the fact that if we are to lose the bull market support band, things would get ugly. Well, the moment that we lost the bull market support band, you can see that we effectively dropped all the way down to here, which is approximately 6%. That is no joke for the stock market. And I also wanted to bring this to your attention, which we haven't covered on the channel in a while, the dollar. You can see that the dollar is now back to 100, which is pretty significant. We talked about this at length several months ago, how the dollar would likely find a bottom around this zone. You can see me deleting my previous drawings, but this was always going to be a very strong zone for the dollar. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to go ahead and make new highs, but I do think that there is some pumpage for the dollar, and naturally, this will not bode over well for risk assets like crypto and also like the stock market. And on the theme of the dollar going up and the selling pressure continuing for risk assets, the Coinbase Premium Index is looking very, very ugly. You can see here that we are in extreme deep red. And if this continues, Bitcoin will easily break $60,000 to the downside. Now, I need to remind you of something. Just because I think that going below 60K is inevitable, it doesn't mean that it has to happen immediately. I've been talking about how I would be adding to my shorts at the tariff capitulation lows if you've been tuning into the channel. I started at $97,000. Actually, I did have a short open at around 123K, which I've closed completely since then. But the bigger short that I've taken started at 97K, took some profits on the way down, added to my position at $74,000 at the tariff capitulation lows, which was a huge relief rally for Bitcoin. A reminder here, from the lows to this high, that is still a 27% pump. In the bear market, we do get relief rallies, but it's very, very important to not get excited about them and assume that Bitcoin will just be making a new high. Same exact scenario happened over here. You can see that from this low at around $80,000, which I did manage to long within my community, well, we managed to pump over 20%. So what this means is if Bitcoin cannot hold on to where we're currently at, I don't think that the probabilities favor a move higher. I actually think that we could just chop around here and then ultimately bleed below $60,000. Right now, though, we have to wait and see how the price action reacts to this level. If you're not in any trades, my non-financial advice is to simply sit on your hands. The time to short was up here. The time to short was also up here. Don't just blindly jump into shorts now that Bitcoin has already dropped significantly from the highs, which is approximately now a 13% dump. That is no joke, so don't just pile into a trade because you feel left out. Wait for some kind of bounce if you're looking for shorts in this market. Now, at this point in time, I don't think I should even touch my trades. I'm probably going to sit on my hands with these trades for quite some time. Whether we bounce or not, I still think that Bitcoin will ultimately roll over. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. I'm doing my best to guide you through the bear market, make some money on the way down, and ideally look for swing longing opportunities when we're near those bear market lows. You have to be patient with this kind of price action. And to unfortunately make things a little bit worse here, we're probably going to get rate hikes in 2027. There is now a 51% chance of an interest rate hike by March of 2027. Rate hikes are now more likely than rate cuts. At this point in time, rate cuts are expected to be in 2027 at the end of the year. And today should still be a pretty significant day given the fact that the US is expecting a formal response from Iran regarding their 15-point peace deal proposal. So let's see how that all plays out. And something else, because of this war, the Warsh Fed confirmation is now stalled because they're waiting for the outcome of what's currently going on in the Middle East. So this technically means that Fed Chair Jerome Powell could stay in as an interim Fed chair. And just a couple more things before we wrap up this video. David Sachs' term as President Trump's crypto and AI czar ends. I don't even know what this guy managed to accomplish. Not being critical here, but everyone was very hyped about his appointment, and now he's gone. So I don't see anything but Bitcoin in a downtrend. If we are to get any kind of bounce, I would be expecting it to be from right around this zone. This is a pretty crucial support level, but I will maintain my shorts on the way down. If you want to know how I am personally trading the market, what I do every single day, every single week before I come on the YouTube channel, and you're interested in taking advantage of the current market conditions, well, you do have the first link in my description down below. It's where I share all of my own personal trades. All you have to do is scroll down, click this link, and if you send the keyword CBM on Telegram, you'll be greeted with a message that'll give you all of the details to be able to join. But to quickly summarize, you literally just have to sign up with one of the affiliate exchange links down below. We've added 2bit as an option as well, and you start trading on there with your own money, then you're able to join my group for free. And that sums up today's quick video. Bitcoin is dropping, as we've discussed time and time again. You should never get too excited on bear market rallies because there's usually one outcome: a sharp move to the downside. Now let's see if we remain range bound, if we can hold at this level, or if Bitcoin is already ready to drop below $60,000. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. As always, I have my bluff and leverage trading tutorial right here, and I'll see you in the next video.